My first ever encounter with Levantia Shatham was certainly a vivid one. On the day I was assigned to be his chamberlain, he introduced himself to me not as a prince, as one would expect, but as an equal. He had a calm smile and exuded wisdom that belied his young age. One day, it was decided that Levantia would be sent to House Leicester, whose head, Arlim, was a close ally of the king. A decision made in secret. Among the bustling activity surrounding the prince, an air of uneasiness had started to brew. He seemed aware of it, yet as we spoke in the carriage to Leicestershire, there wasn't a hint of worry in his voice, nor was there the slightest change to his smile. My fears must have been plain to see. He gave me a beaming grin, as if to cheer me up. As we came to a halt, I hurried out to open the carriage door. Levantia alighted with his usual grace, and then, bursting out of the front doors of the manor, came a young boy grinning from ear to ear. He had this lively look to him, brimming with a curiosity for all things. He briskly approached us and exchanged introductions with Levantia. There was a youthful warmth to his voice that assured me that he bore no malice, and I began to feel at ease. Having already become fast friends, the two then turned to me and called me over. Even today, I can't explain my feelings in that moment.
After capturing Tagaria, the Empire's relentless progress appears to have temporarily abated. Alas, this does little to assuage Alatanian fears, and they begin to seek refuge in religion. In response to this demand, the Granville Church carries out its activities with increased vigor. Among its new initiatives is a promise to rescue a number of children from Westfield. They were orphaned following a disaster in the barren lands of Baladin Wilds and left to fend for themselves. The church enlists the Blue Foxes to rescue the orphans and bring them to safety.
This mission has come from the Granville Church. You will be heading to Westfield's Baladin Wilds. Wilds is not a misnomer. The region is all but uninhabitable. The land there is barren and ill-suited to agriculture. A true wasteland, plagued by natural disasters and infested with monsters. A recent tornado laid waste to one village, and many of the local children were orphaned. Escort the priests to Baladin and bring the children back to enter the care of the church.
This is to be our mission, while Tagaria remains occupied.
There's no need to be preoccupied with Tagaria, Fred. Right now, we bide our time till the right moment. We must be patient.
And besides, we're mercenaries, are we not? We simply go where we're told.
But is our assistance actually required? What became of the children's parents?
It is reported many died trying to protect their young.
I wonder what brought them to that place. It's such a desolate and dangerous region.
Their village borders the frontier, the only region of DioField Island that remains completely uninhabited. It's one of the Granville Church's holiest sites.
All those tales are simply nonsense. People are foolish to believe in such fanciful legends.
Foolish or not, let's head for Baladin.
Having helped the unit rescue the Baladin orphans, young Magicka Estalt Ufair is allowed to join the Blue Foxes. Meanwhile, fears of another Imperial advance prompt Alatane to open talks with the Alliance. The Alliance was formed in order to halt the Trovelt-Shovian Empire's relentless expansion. It contains dozens of nations, but its key members are the republics of Verma, Aluj, and Porrand. The Lord's Council chooses Duke William Hende as their representative to lead the negotiating delegation. The first round of talks takes place in Southfield with representatives from Verma and Porrand. The Blue Foxes escort the Duke to the summit and are tasked with ensuring his safety throughout. Alas, the Duke rejects the Alliance's conditions outright, and negotiations are suspended. This rejection infuriates a Vermin diplomat by the name of Dalmazio, and he is seen cursing the Duke's name as he leaves the summit.
I am afraid that talks with the Roadtail Alliance have broken down. The terms they proposed were simply unacceptable. True shame.
And these terms were?
They demanded exclusive jade extraction rights from the Gaian mines for 50 years, no less. A preposterous request.
Duke Hende!
What's the matter, Lorraine?
Alliance troops advance, and on this position, no less. This man will brief you on the situation.
My name's Castivir Bernal, a knight of the Republic of Verma. If I might be so very bold, Duke Hende, this is a predicament of your own making. The Alliance's diplomats lost great face when you summarily rejected their offer.
Frankly, the offer they proposed was simply unacceptable. If you've come here to have me reconsider, you are wasting your time.
These Alliance troops, they've been sent as an unofficial message. You are surrounded, but I will aid you nonetheless.
Why would a Vermin knight betray the Alliance to assist us?
Simple. Because my country has already betrayed me. I can no longer return there.
Given the circumstances, we've no choice but to trust him. If he's a spy, we know what to do.
I have requested military support from the Royal Forces stationed in Southfield.
We must buy some time until they arrive.
Whatever happens, please stay inside, Duke Hende. We will protect you at all costs.
Negotiations with the Alliance break down, causing Dalmazio to summon his guard and unleash them on Duke Hende. The Blue Foxes fend off the attack, and Dalmazio returns home with his tail between his legs. Yet the unexpected breakdown of discussions angers the mediating Southfield nobles. With House Redditch out of the picture, House Engram became openly critical of the royal government, playing into the Southfield aristocrats' fears that they would lose control of their territories. Before long, House Engram had succeeded in organizing a rebellion to overthrow the monarch's rule. In response, Duke Hende orders the Blue Foxes to nip the nobles' uprising in the bud.
This mission will take you to Grost Crypt in northern Southfield. That is where the nobles of Southfield are gathering to make preparations for their insurrection against Centralfield. Your task is to prevent this rebellion.
I used to play in those catacombs all the time when I was but a little girl. Some fools like to claim that they're haunted.
Have we managed to determine the instigator of this insurrection?
Yes, he's called Zachariah, a fixer and middleman for members of the upper class. He has allied himself with House Engram and has been recruiting local nobles to their cause.
All this in retaliation for the breakdown of negotiations with the Alliance.
Perhaps. In any case, it is a futile effort. I'm surprised the Duke has reacted with such urgency.
Wouldn't it be because he's planning to expand his sphere of influence to Southfield?
Excuse me?
There would be nothing untoward about it. Duke Hende is on the Lord's Council, after all. He's a representative of the kingdom.
Yes, well, it doesn't explain why the nobles of Southfield would try something so utterly foolish.
I suppose we'll soon find out.
It's now or never.
What the? Some creature has burst out the ground!
Is it a wyvern skeleton? No! It's far too big!
Was it them who summoned it?
This isn't right! Why isn't it listening to me?
What's happening, Zachariah?
Walter Quinn.
What a treat. I simply cannot resist.
It's coming at us!
Rise from the dark depths of your tombs, my corpse army. Now is the time to unleash your rage upon this hapless puppet.
Walter Quinn?
Oh, it's too much. Too much. I simply can't resist any longer. This hex is too delicious.
Walter Quinn.
Yes? What is it?
Walter Quinn, are you listening?
Of course. Why are you pulling that scary face?
Enough of the little girl act. You summoned the dead right in front of us.
Ah, you noticed then?
Of course we did. When were you planning on telling us about your powers?
I never knew I had them. It's just something that happened on impulse.
How did you know how to do that?
I must have a knack for these things.
Does this mean that it was in fact you who made the corpses rise at House Redditch?
Well, if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have been able to make our escape, no?
But does that mean... Did you kill the Reddiches? Your own family?
I wonder.
I don't know what to say.
Surely you're not all that surprised.
Look, let's talk about this later, shall we? I'm keen to leave this place behind.
The nobles' insurrection is thwarted by the Blue Foxes, and its leaders are killed in battle. Not wasting any time, Duke Hende dispatches his troops to the now leaderless Southfield. And before long, the vacated domains have all been taken under the Duke's control. The Duke immediately introduces stricter laws, as well as higher taxes. He also sets about eradicating any local customs and beliefs which he deems to be dangerous. Having grown used to light-touch governance, the people of Southfield find such moves oppressive. Indeed, many choose to relocate to other parts of DioField to escape from the suffocating policies. A number of the recently displaced Southfield natives come to Central Field, advocating the adoption of democracy. This new political movement gains followers among those dissatisfied with the royal government. Riots ensued. Instilling fear throughout the government, the Blue Foxes are brought in to quell the chaos.
Your mission today is to suppress a riot in Hodlam, a slum in Central Field. The doctrine of democracy, invented on the continent, has begun to take root among the commoners.
The reason for the sudden spread of democracy in the slums, is this due to refugees from Southfield taking up residence there?
Yes, the people's growing discontent is manifesting itself as violent riots and looting. You must urgently restore the peace. Bear in mind, however, that the rioters are not soldiers. They are civilians, unaccustomed to fighting. It is vital that casualties are kept to a minimum.
Understood.
Why should rioters receive special treatment? An enemy's an enemy. I, for one, shan't be going easy on them.
Through our recent excursions, the Blue Foxes have built up a formidable reputation in Central Field. It is likely that some rioters will immediately surrender their arms upon your arrival.
That's right. All the more reason to avoid bloodshed.
I don't make concessions in battle.
They may be vulnerable, people coerced into participating. So you will have to on this occasion, Walter Quinn.
It's their own fault for being completely powerless and spineless. Why should I feel any pity?
What's wrong with you? As mercenaries, our livelihood is in violence. Sometimes we must take lives, but Duke Hende ordered for no unnecessary deaths. We must uphold that.
Let us depart.
Over 6 months have passed since the Trovelchovian Empire captured Tagaria Naval Base. Several attempts were made to retake the base during this period, but Commander Osmoldo Selica's garrison has proved impossible to displace. Osmoldo's forces are clearly superior, yet he has made no attempt to push on beyond Tagaria. A state of affairs that left the royal government perplexed as to his motives. In the meantime, the Blue Foxes have been put to work suppressing riots in the slums of Central Field. While doing so, Walter Quinn shocks her comrades by ignoring orders and deploying lethal force. On the one hand, Walter Quinn's violent conduct achieves the desired result. The terrified rioters promptly surrender. On the other hand, it severely tarnishes the Blue Fox's reputation, rightly or wrongly marking them as ruthless killers. As a result, their patron, Duke Hende, has also become a target for criticism from other members of the Lord's Council. Though this did little to discourage him from continuing to strengthen his grip over Southfield. Before the month was up, the Duke had become the de facto ruler of the entire region.
Listen up, Blue Foxes. We are deploying to Dagaria's port to seize it.
What?
A bit ambitious for a small unit like ours, don't you think?
Finally, a battle worthy of the name. What's the plan?
Let's hear a situation report before making any plans. Lorraine, if you would.
Very well. 6,000 Imperial soldiers have been positioned to hold a defensive line between the base and the western grasslands. The Royal Army has already stationed 20,000 troops in the area. But their attempts to break through the line have so far been futile.
We only have 600 people. Outnumbered 10 to 1. A frontal assault is hopeless.
The Imperial and Royal armies are at a complete deadlock, solely focused on keeping a watchful eye on their opponent's movements. We'll set off from Southfield, now in the Duke's domain, circle around Dagaria Naval Base, and launch our attack from the sea. The Empire isn't yet aware who's now controlling Southfield. They won't see this coming.
I see. Taking advantage of Duke Hende's domestic conquest, eh?
The only troops stationed at the base itself are Commander Osmaldo and a handful of officers. If we take them out, the Empire's defensive line will be leaderless and prone to collapse. Alatain can then push through with numbers alone.
Using our hapless allies as bait while we sneak up to stab the enemy in the back. Genius.
I don't share Quinn's enthusiasm, but I agree that it is time for us to seize the initiative.
I suggest we deploy at once.